Hey everyone, isn't it to me how you can make the dumbest stuff ever sometimes that on paper sounds like it would never work, but then when you execute it, it works much better than you ever could imagine. Case in point, let me give a synopsis for the banana game called Banana, about banana. Here it is right here. You click on banana right there center on the screen, and the number above it in plain font goes up every time you click it. So if you click it once, it goes up by 1. And hopefully you got that in your mind, because that's all there is. Nothing more, like just no cute flash animations every time you get like a milestone, like every 100. Something pops on the screen like, good job. No, there's nothing of that. Just the cold stuff of the game staring right at you with like no emotion. And when you look at the game and the requirements, they look like ingredients on the side of the box. It looks like you can actually run this game on a calculator. Like it's just that bare bones. I even feel like 150 megabytes is like way too much for that game. You'd crush it down to 3 megabytes. Come on. But I do have to admit, for this dumb idea, this very moronic simple idea, it definitely does warrant 700,000 players playing it every day. And I'm happy for that, because when I was preparing for this video, like an hour ago, it was at 300,000 players. That's a good sign. There's a healthy community of new players coming in and staying there. And for context, this only came out back in April. Just a few months where it like beat a couple like massive games that have way more players in just a few months. Could it break 1 million players? I wouldn't be surprised if it got this far with a simple synopsis, it could reach for the stars, why not? I guess if you were some indie developer, you would be somewhat inspired by this game, he probably took like a day to make this game, and so far, it got this massive, so I guess round of applause for making it that far. I will come back to talk about like how dumb this game is, but right now, I want to give a quick explanation on why it's so popular with enough players to make their own country. And that explanation is as simple as the game. For every minute that you play, every hour, every 3 hours actually, you might get a small chance of getting a skin. And that name is way too kind, skin, because you can't actually equip it. You can't put it on the banana right in front of your screen. It actually goes to your Steam items tab where you get a bunch of shit from games that you never noticed, which I feel like for 9% of players, they never check that part because it's useless. You can never sell any stuff there for like actual good money. But then you have 10% of players on Steam that they know what they're doing somewhat, and they're mining at the right games. You get actual valuable stuff they can sell for not that much, but it's something at least. I will give it to the guy that made the game, the banana game. It is somewhat smart to make so you have to play 1 minute every 3 hours as opposed to always clicking it, which would be boring after 1 hour. Because if he made it so you'd have to stay on it constantly, no one will stick around. But if it makes it more like a tiny part of your daily life, if you're that miserable to do it so every single day, it'll become way easier for you to be part of your everyday life. But I can't give too many praises because most of the skins, 98%, are just dust, like actual pennies that no one's gonna sell because it's worth nothing. So maybe you can invest your skin worth 2 cents and sell it for another skin worth 3 cents. And maybe you can repeat that over a year until you have $1. But again, like I said, if you can't equip the skin in the actual game, it just stays in your items tab doing nothing. But can you really call it a healthy market when no players are incentivized to sell a skin for barely making a return? And the solution to that is that it loops back around to the explanation where maybe if you play for 1 minute every 3 hours, you might have the tiny chance of getting an actual skin that's worth more than $2. It doesn't sound like a lot, but compared to everything else that's just pebbles, that skin that's worth quite a bit would be like an oasis. And even though I made it sound simple, we only have to play for 1 minute every day, every 3 hours again, it's so rare, some of these skins that are worth money, it might as well be a myth. Which, to be fair, does benefit the game because so many people, brain-dead people, are so will launch you rare items, they play a game just for that, no matter how long it would take to actually get it. Another part that makes it so fun to me is that people theorize that the guy behind the game, he's the one making the rare skins that you don't get in the game, but he makes himself. For the purists that you pump them out and sell it to the moronic sheep he's flocked together. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. With a game like this, you can tell there's nothing fueling it but just pure money. Like what kind of passion would create this game and try to implement an actual economy into it? And I mean as well, come on, who else apart from him who get rare skins like a Pepe skin, a Doge skin, and a diamond skin? Oh my god, that's like really unique. That's genius. More games should have that. Very few people have skins like this, but it doesn't matter how impossible you make something seem. As long as there's a small chance of getting it, people just turn on the sweatshop mode and keep on grinding the game every single day, or every 3 hours actually. So now that I talk about the economy behind the game that's gonna die in a month, I want to go back to why the game just is so dumb. You probably were hooked in when I said you would make a little bit of money from the game, but any motivation in you that would make you want a skin worth $100 at best would be completely destroyed after a week straight of getting on the game and getting nothing. I'm not giving the game any credence because I really don't think it's gonna last that long, apart from just being a joke, but I feel like some small tweaks could go a long way. With stuff like Cookie Clicker, there was a small semblance of progress, not make you feel like a zombie always clicking non-stop. On one side, it is slightly ingenious because the people behind the game, Cookie Clicker, they knew how to make the game more fun by making it more repetitive. But it's just those small tiny changes you could pick that would show why your brain to make you believe that something's changing and it's not just the same stuff over and over. But I think the guy behind the banana game intentionally made it as simple as possible to add more to the comedy. And I mean, at the same time, it is free, so who's really getting hurt? But I think it adds more to the joke of the lack of quality control on Steam when dumb shit like this is put up and beating games with hundreds of thousands of players in just a few days. Because now I was thinking about it, I wouldn't be surprised if people got the game just for the joke or for the tiny chance of getting the golden ticket of a valuable skin to sell. But I've also seen people say like there are a lot of bots filling up the daily play account, which again, that wouldn't surprise me either because with a tiny load of money, you can turn people to bloodhounds that quickly. And with how simple the game is in the first place, I feel like a little kid, a little tiny boy could make his own like auto program to run the game in the background, to maybe earn a skin every 3 hours. Now that I think about it, if I was a kid and I had a chance to make like 3 cents every 3 hours potentially, I would feel like an actual god with that potential. When you're that young, you make money that easily, that would go to your head, good god.